Good morning from the forge. So recently I had somebody in the comments section ask me to do some forging on the power hammer. Most of my videos, well, a lot of my videos, I do some forging on the power hammer. But the truth is, even though I said I would do it for this person, my apologies, but I'm not going to. Because I'm not a guy who can start a blade and finish it on the power hammer. There are guys out there that can do great on the hammer, on the power hammer. That's just not me. I do use the power hammer to break down stock or to rough forge my shape into my preform and then finish on the anvil. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. I have no idea what I'm going to make, but I've got some 1/4 inch thick, I believe that's 1095, 1.5 inches wide. And we're going to get it hot, smash it a few times, and see what happens. Okay, we're going to start out like normal on the power hammer, drawing down the tip. You can see I already had it ground slightly rounded, and that's just to make it easier to get the tip forged in without getting the fish lip or cold shut there on the very end. So I'm going to forge it out to a pretty fair taper. A little more there. Now I'll go to the anvil after this pass and just square it up. No need to show that though. We'll come back to the hammer and just bring it down for width. So we've got our tip pretty much finished. Now what I want to do is go back and forge in what's going to be our ricasso, the transition between the blade, and in this case what's going to be the guard. And you can see I'd already started. I forgot to hit the start button on the camera, but you can see that I'm just using my hack to forge in the shoulders for what's going to be where the guard sits. And now I'll just start forging out the tang. I'm not worried about narrowing the tang or decreasing the thickness of the tang that much. I'm just going to let it go ahead and swell. This is going to be a fairly big blade, and I want a pretty heavy tang to support it. Usually the weakness in a stick tang or through tang blade is that transition right where the blade goes into the tang, and I'm going to leave plenty of meat there to support the heft of this blade. Plenty of thickness. Well, that's about rough forged out for the tang. Just go back and straighten everything up. Dress it one time. And now I'm going to have to dress the blade down for width. It's a little bit wider than I wanted it to be to start. So I'm going to dress the blade down. Just one pass with the hammer is enough, just to decrease the width a little bit. Now I'm going to start working the bevels. Start just by drawing down the heel of the blade first. And you can see I'm just using the corner of the die and pulling the steel down from the spine toward the edge. Now I've got the heel established. I'm going to move out along the blade in steps and pull that steel down to roughly match where I've got it pulled down at the heel. You can kind of see what I'm doing there. I'm just going to even things up a little bit. I did not thin that edge out very much. It's going to take some grinding to do it. I left it heavy on purpose. Left that edge pretty thick so that I'm not really going to mess it up by forging. Gives me a little more leeway in case I have some mistakes I need to fix. Just even things up with a pass in the hammer. And we'll go to the anvil. And I'm going to start at the tip. And I'm really not bringing the blade to a high heat. All I'm really doing is planishing out the hammer marks from the power hammer and refining my blade profile. Just taking my time, taking out the hammer marks, refining the blade profile, refining my edge thickness a little better than what I had it. I'd like for this blade to be between 8 and 9 inches long when I'm done. I think it's going to come close. So I'm just working from the tip toward the heel in steps. Like I said, a fairly low heat. This doesn't have to be blazing hot to do this, just to remove those hammer marks. I'm not hitting it hard. Just taking my time, doing my refining. I'm really pretty happy with the way this is coming along so far. I know it's not quite the length I want yet, so before I finish, I'm going to have to go back to the hammer and back to the power hammer, and I'm going to hammer in a little distal taper. I could do it here at the anvil. I usually do it at the anvil, but since we had a request to do more on the power hammer, that's what I'm going to do. That's actually pretty good. Yep. Not quite where I want it. Just one pass I think will do. Even things up. I'm going to dress up back here at the tang just a little bit. Just refine that tang. Not much, doesn't need much. Yeah, ready for annealing. Pretty happy with that. Okay, folks, we got that one done. It's been in the annealing tub, softened up, ready for a grind, start finishing things up on it before hardening. I'm really happy with that profile, really happy with the way the bevels are established. We ended up with a blade that's a little over, going to be a little over 8.5 inches worth of cutting edge when I'm done dressing it up back here for the guard to fit. The tang is nice and thick. It's not going to be a weak spot there. Yeah, it's going to be a really nice Bowie. Hope you enjoyed the video. God bless and have a great day.